What's up, YouTube? Finally getting around to making a loadout video for my M4, so enjoy. So I get a lot of comments on my videos, and by a lot I mean probably like 5 or 10, asking me to make a review or just to showcase the loadout that I use when I do use my M4. Mostly when I go to games, since I play a lot of CQB, I really like to use my MP9 and my MP7 and pistols, and I have a completely separate loadout for that. But on occasion I do like to use my M4, which is this one right here. This is my Airsoftgi G4-A1 Hard, they call it. It has the Noveske 10.5-inch aluminum rail, and as you can see, I've made quite a few modifications to it. It doesn't come with any of this stuff, really. I've got Magpul CTR stock on it, and the battery is still in the stock. I actually have a Firefox 11.1 volt LiPo battery in the buffer tube. Got Magpul backup sights, a Magpul AFG, ladder rail covers, Magpuls. I got a Dark Earth P-Mags, and these are actually mid-caps. These are 80-round mid-caps, and a MOE pistol grip. So, as you can see, I like Madbull, and I also really like dark brown. This is flat Dark Earth, and my gear is Coyote Brown. They're about the closest you can get as far as going with, getting your gear colors, getting your gun gear colors to match your tactical gear colors. Also on this gun, I have a Madbull Noveske KFH flash hider. Makes it nice and loud. Makes a good pop sound when you shoot it. And that 11.1 volt LiPo battery gives me a pretty good rate of fire. Moving away from the gun, quick detach sling. Also, as a part of this loadout, my vest is a Pantac Wasatch, I've heard people call it both, so I don't really know. I've also seen it called an MPS, but it's a pretty nice, simple rig. I don't have to really add pouches to it for mags because it has all of these in front, and each one of these can actually hold 3 magazines. I don't really like to have it hold 3 magazines because then that means that the actual vest itself gets loose. Because since these are all pockets that are part of the vest rather than sitting on top of the vest, the more magazines you put in it, the tighter it gets. So then when you take them out, if you actually use all the magazines in one round of a game, then your vest ends up being really loose by the time you've removed all of them from the pouches. And I don't really like that. So I just keep it to 2 when I'm running mid caps. When I'm running high caps, which I do sometimes if I feel kind of lazy and don't want to reload in games, I'll just have 2 high caps and 1 in the gun. And I tighten it up a little bit, and it's really nice and comfortable. In the back of it, because this rig does get a little bit front heavy if you don't put something in the back, I just put a book. I don't want to spend $50 on fake PVC sappy plates to put in this thing, so I have a paperback textbook in there. For my admin pouch, I have a small admin pouch. This is also Pantac, and it's also Coyote Brown. It has a pouch for a pistol magazine or maybe a flashlight or whatever. I have a 5-hour energy in there. I use this part of the pouch for my cell phone, and sometimes I'll put my armbands in it in between games. And I have my name patch here and an American flag patch on top of that. As I said before, I'm running 6 magazines. 6 magazines on the vest and 1 magazine in the gun. They're 80 rounds each, and with Magpuls on all of them. And these pouches are pretty universal because they're so big. So also in these pouches I keep my Tornado Impact Grenade, which I just got recently, and I love it. I have 2 separate pouches attached on the outside because this is all covered in mollywebbing, and these are 2 magazines for my USP. And these are actually match magazines because I have a regular USP and I have a USP match. But they fit the regular USP, and so no need to buy new magazines because you get a new gun if they fit. I think this is a Condor 1-point bungee sling. It's pretty comfortable, and I like the fact that it's quick detach. It comes with a couple different connections. It comes with a hook, which is what I have on my M4, and then it comes with a strap that you can put around a full stock weapon, and so I put that on my MP5, and I can just quickly detach it and switch between the 2 weapons with no problem. Let's see, moving on. This is my dump pouch. I'm not sure what brand it is, but I think it's Condor, and this is a roll-up utility dump pouch. I keep it in the front here because it's easy to just remove magazines and just drop them straight in there. So I used to keep this dump pouch in the back, but I started putting it in the front because it's a lot easier than having it in the back. You know, sometimes if you're in the middle of the game and you're going really fast, it gets kind of hard to take a magazine out and reach behind you and pull another one out fast, especially if you're getting shot at. It's not really the best situation to be in. So moving on to my sidearms, which I carry 3. A lot of people scoff at me when they see that I carry 3 pistols on me, but it's a lot of fun sometimes if I want to, you know, set down my rifle in the middle of the game and just take out pistols. You know, I don't have to go out into the lobby and go get my pistols. So the first pistol that I'm using, and you probably see it in a lot of my game videos, is a KWA M93R. And this is actually the old version of the M93R with the plastic slide. And I use this one because it shoots legal where I play at Tactical Airsoft Arena. They have a limit of 300 FPS with a .25 gram BB, and so this shoots right underneath that, and so it's perfect. I had the NS2 version for a while, and it was pretty cool, but it had some feeding issues, and it also shot way too hard to play with there. So I mean, I ended up getting rid of it because I couldn't use it. And so with this one, I carry 2 magazines with it, and I'm holding this gun in a OE-Tech fast draw holster. It's also pretty much the same thing as the universal holster. You can open it up and wrap it around your gun and make it fit, and you can fit some pretty large frame pistols. I actually carry my USP match around in this sometimes too. My other pistol is a KWA USP, and this is the one that you've seen in my gun collection video. And this is a KWA USP with an OD frame and a black slide. And the slide is a plastic slide that's made by KSC. Fits perfectly. You know, a lot of their parts are interchangeable, and it has trademarks on it. Real H&K trademarks rather than KWA trademarks or KSC trademarks. So that's pretty cool. And I also like having a plastic slide because it makes the gun a lot more gas efficient, and you also don't have to worry about a finish rubbing off, because I use Serpa holsters, and if you're using a metal slide that has a black finish on it, over time the finish is going to start to wear away, and you're going to get silver lines in it on the edges because of it rubbing off. Since this is a plastic slide, it's black plastic with no finish to rub off. Also, what's different about this pistol is the springs have been upgraded. The recoil spring is upgraded to 150%, and also the hammer spring. And I have some generic pistol lanyard on this. I don't know what brand it is or anything. I think I got it used on eBay for like $5 or $10. I'm holding it in a Blackhawk Serpa Sportster holster. And so you see it only holds the front of it, and I can get it out and in pretty fast. Also in the Serpa holster is my KWA 1911 Mark IV. This one also has an OD frame. Holds 14 rounds, shoots really, really great. It has a nice, clean, crisp blowback. I like it a lot. This is another one of my favorite pistols, and I'm pretty glad that I can actually use it. Now, a lot of you probably know, if you have this gun, that it does shoot a little hot. And what I do to fix that is I either just, you know, fill up the mags like halfway, or I'll mix duster gas and green gas. It won't cycle properly if you use only duster gas, but if you use just green gas and fill up your mags all the way, then it shoots around 360, and that's too hot for where I play. And I'm keeping that in a Serpa Sportster holster as well. This is another Blackhawk Serpa holster. This one is a paddle holster. The other one is a belt holster, so it stays on my belt all the time. I don't take it off. This one I can take on and off and put it on you know, another setup if I wanted to. If I didn't want to wear these pants or something, it's easier. I can just pull it out because it's on a paddle. And this holster is good for any 1911 with a regular sized frame, and it can be railed or not railed. This one has a railed frame, and it fits just fine. It's nice and tight, but I can also carry my Turkey Marui 1911 in there as well, which is just a regular 1911 A1W. So I guess that is pretty much it. So if you guys have any more questions about this loadout, just leave a comment and I'll try to answer it. Oh, my gloves. These are Mechanics Impact gloves. The same gloves I was wearing in my other loadout video. I wear these gloves all the time. They're really comfortable. They don't really protect all that much against getting hit. You know, they're not like those hard knuckle gloves or anything like that, but they make it a little bit better, and they're also good for grip. And they're comfortable. I like them. And as you can see, I've cut off 3 fingers so that I don't have to take off my gloves if I need to reload some BBs or something like that. So the last thing I want to show you guys is my mask. and I moved the position of the camera because my neighbor's air conditioner compressor came on and it was getting really loud, so I wanted to get away from that. But anyway, so this is my mask. This is my brand new airsoft mask. Actually, it's not brand new, I bought it used, but it's actually not an airsoft mask, so that's the point. That's what I'm so excited about. This is actually a fencing mask, and I bought this because, you know, I see a lot of people wearing wire mesh masks now and wire mesh goggles, and where I play, you're required to have your entire face covered, and it makes sense. You know, you can't just have goggles. You have to have your entire face covered. So I've been wearing, you know, the typical paintball mask with a lens and everything for a while, and I just have the worst problem with fogging. And I put a fan in it, and the fan helps, but I wanted something that was mesh because it gets hot. You know, it gets really hot in there with all the people, and it's a small place, and so I thought that having a wire mesh mask would really help me out with that. I see a lot of other people wearing them, but the ones that are made specifically for airsoft only cover your face. Sorry about the break in the video, my camera ran out of memory. So anyway, as I was saying, I don't really, I just didn't really want to get any of the airsoft specific mesh masks because a lot of them only cover your face. They don't go around your whole head, and also they don't offer the same field of vision that this does. You know, the entire front and sides and everything is mesh. There's only this one band on the side, and that's what sort of like cushions your face when you wear the mask. So rather than getting, you know, a $50 mask that only covers just the front of my face and cuts off my peripheral vision, you know, I spent, you know, $24 and got two of these used on eBay, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the other one. I might paint it, and then maybe I'll have two. But, you know, I really like it, obviously, as you can tell. I mean, you know, it has its own neck protector and everything. That's what holds your chin when you put it on. You can see it stays on really simply. It doesn't have any straps or anything. All it has is this bendable metal bar right here that's cushioned with leather and cloth, and that holds it to the back of your head, or it holds on the back of your head to hold this on your face. Also, the paint job I wanted to show you guys. I don't know how well you can see this, but I'll take some pictures of it. But I painted it black and red, and I did this because I watched V for Vendetta the other day, and you know, everybody has a Guy Fawkes, you know, like anonymous mask. So I wanted to do something different. So I painted it like the symbol of the governing party in V for Vendetta, and that's the red cross with two horizontals on it, and I think it looks pretty cool. Also, I mean, I really like that I can mount my camera on top of my mask now. No more staring at the walls in my game videos, as soon as I get a new camera, that is. So let me show you guys what it looks like on. So this is what it looks like when it's on. When I wore this to the game the other day, it was the first time that I had worn it to a game, and a lot of people immediately recognized that it was a fencing mask. And some people, you know, thought that was like silly or whatever, but I think it's cool. I mean, it works well. You know, I don't have any issues with fogging. I don't get hot wearing something that covers my face and restricts my breathing. It stays on snugly. It's comfortable. I can put my camera wherever I want. You know, I put these little rail sections on with screws right into the mesh. You know, I really, so far, I can't think of anything bad about it. It wasn't expensive. So hopefully I've convinced a few of you guys to go on eBay and buy a fencing mask and turn it into an airsoft mask for yourself if you like mesh masks. Of course, there is the hazard of BBs shattering sometimes and hitting your face, getting in your eyes or whatever, so if that's a problem for you, then you can wear safety glasses underneath. I didn't wear safety glasses and I was fine, so it's really just up to you. So thanks for watching. Tell me guys what you think of my loadout. So here's the mask and my G4, just so you can see the paint job on the mask a little bit better now that it's in the light. And the G4, you can see some of the stuff I have on it, because I know before I was a little bit far away from the camera, just so you guys could get a complete view of the loadout. But you know, the gun is the most important thing, right? So, as I was showing you before, this is my Noveske KFH. I've got a bunch of Magpul furniture. I think I'm going to stick with the black body because I like the look of the two-tone gun. And I really like the CTR stock. I'll probably keep that on there for a while. And for as long as my LiPo battery lasts, I'll just leave it in that buffer tube. What else? A little bit about the internals. I have it shooting around 280 FPS with a Garter S90 spring. I've got a G&G reinforced piston, GMP M120 high-speed motor paired with the 11.1 LiPo battery, so I get a pretty good rate of fire. The gears are stock. You know, this gun doesn't really need to be heavily upgraded because I got a pretty weak spring in there. You know, I'm not putting it through a lot of abuse, so it's alright. And then, of course, the flashlight. Everyone always wants to know what kind of flashlight I have, and the honest answer is I don't know. I don't know if you guys can see or not, but the lens is all cracked up. I have a piece of Lexan covering it, so the Lexan is what's cracked. But this is a really huge flashlight, and it's also really bright. I got this on eBay, just like most of the stuff that I get, and it was advertised as 1200 lumens. I don't really believe that. It's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 600 to 800, but it is really, really bright. It has 5 Cree Q5 LED emitters inside of it, so it makes a pretty good beam. When you shine it up in the sky at night, it looks like a searchlight. And I have a pressure switch on it, which I have looped through my rail, and it's sort of all jumbled up in there because the pressure switch is really long, and I always hate it when you have all that extra wire and you have nowhere to put it. And I've run it back here, and it is stuck to here with some double-sided foam mounting tape. And I know a lot of you guys are probably going to ask me what this means, so I'll just go ahead and tell you. Jado, I painted that on there not too long ago just because I was bored, and I thought it would be cool to name my gun. So I named it after, there's a book series that I like called The Tales of the Otori. I don't know if any of you have read it before, but in that, the main character, he's a samurai, and he names his sword Jado. So I named this one Jado, and I named my MP9. I also did the same thing with white paint on my MP9, and I wrote Sting on that one, and that's the name of the sword in The Lord of the Rings that glows whenever orcs are near. So go ahead and make fun of me in the comments.